Everyone, good day, and today I'll present to you how performance-based assessment or PBA is applied in the context of values education guided by DepEd Order 31 Series of 2020. Okay, according to Macmillan 2018, PBA requires students to demonstrate skills or competencies through a product, response, or performance instead of recalling information learners actively show mastery. Lane 2010 adds that in PBA, students don't just explain process, but they actually perform it. This makes assessments more authentic and more meaningful. Now, let us talk about the other forms of performance-based assessment. First of all, we have alternative assessment. It includes tools beyond pen and paper tests. For examples, these are the interviews, the exhibitions, the portfolios, the projects, and the observation. And these methods captures different dimensions of student learning. The other form is what we call the authentic assessment. So the authentic assessment measures students' ability to apply knowledge in real life tasks. This bridges the classroom learning and real world application, making the lessons more relevant. Now, let us proceed to the different types of scoring and evaluation. First of all, we have the checklist. Okay, a checklist shows whether the specific step or requirements are met, and it is practically or sequential tasks like following lab safety rules or step-by-step procedures. We also have rating scales. A rating scale goes beyond yes or no, and it shows the degree of performance using numbers or descriptors like excellent, good, or needs improvements. Thirdly, and the last of the type of scoring is we have the rubric, or the very known type of scoring in education. Rubric combines criteria with the performance levels. It gives clear expectations and consistent scoring. Rubrics can either be holistic or analytic. So rubric has two types. It is what we call the holistic and the analytic, and what we have here in our screen is the example of holistic and analytic according to DepEd Order 31 Series of 2020. Okay, holistic rubric provide one overall score based on the general impression of performance. They are fast to use but give less detailed feedback. While for the analytic rubric, it breaks the performance into parts like content, the organization, and the delivery. And each part is scored separately, offering more a precise feedback. Now, why is it important to have a performance-based assessment, especially in values education? PBA is mainly used in values education because it measures complex skills better than traditional tests. It also promotes active learning since student must um, since students must engage and create. Okay, and another one is it gives more benefits. PBA directly evaluates skills, support diverse learners, and encourage reflection. It also improves teachers and plannings and instruction through clear performance. Now, after knowing what the definition is, what are the tools, and what are the examples of PBA, we are now done in the why part of the PBA. Okay, now let's proceed to how. Okay, how do we construct performance-based assessment? So according to the book of Macmillan, from the combination of all the readings, it has a 7-step. First is to define the purpose, design the tasks, performance criteria, scoring rubrics, over clear directions, use exemplars, and the review practically. Okay, first of all is to define the purpose. The first step in constructing PBA is defining the purpose. As what do I want the students to learn. This could be the knowledge, the reasoning, or the skills. Number 2 is to identify or design the task. Next, choose the tasks that are authentic. For example, in values education, students can role play, decision making in moral dilemmas, and tasks should match the learning targets. Okay? The step 3 is we have the to develop performance criteria. So develop performance criteria that describe proficient work. Criteria must be observable, like clarity of ideas, respect in communication, or creativity in solution. Step 4, we have to create rubrics, okay? Translate the criteria into rubrics or use holistic rubrics for overall judgment or analytic rubrics for detailed feedback on each criteria. And down to the fifth step, we have to provide clear directions. Student must know expectation before starting, give task instructions, scoring rubrics, and even simple sample output so that they can prepare well. Okay. For the step 6 and 7, we have the exemplars and practicality. So we need to show models of strong and weak work as guides. Also check feasibility. So do you have the time, resources, and fairness to assess the task properly? And this is the sample of performance-based assessment according to DepEd Order 31 Series of 2020 in the context of edukasyon sa pagpapakatao. And lastly, these are my references for my presentation. And that is all for my part, and I hope you enjoyed my study and I hope you learned something. Bye!